Was
But-
Swanee with them too?
No. Swanee came later, and Swanee was more from an esports standpoint.
Yo, shout Swanee. I love you.
Swanee, mate.
Swanee,
Love you.
mate. Love you.
Anyway, let's fast forward a little bit to some more.
Let's get updated.
Yeah,
I think we've reminisced pretty.
Yeah, we did.
For a while. There's a lot. There's a lot to reminisce in this space.
Absolutely.
Especially when there's a lot of things we haven't talked about to like
the public.
Not
only that, but we've known each other for like dude, almost a decade. Okay, so there's a lot of history there that we could. Man. Yeah, think about that.
Wow.
It's nasty. Wow. So let's talk. Why are you leaving me again? And let me open the door by saying that if you ever leave FaZe and to come back to Optic, I welcome you, just so we can keep the trend going, okay? Of joining Optic, leaving Optic for FaZe, leaving FaZe, joining Optic, leaving Optic, joining FaZe.
We'll see what happens. I'll keep it in mind.
It's an open door policy here for good people.
And one day you'll just wake up and I'm on your couch and be like, I'm back.
Yeah, back. Oh, shit, Canada.
Like, oh, it's lit. So I guess it all started at the beginning. I guess like kind of the move. We were like McAlpin. We had a great year. We had great 2 years, man. Like we made such good content. Everything that came out of that house was great, and I think
fire.
It was absolute fire. It was an amazing experience. Every person that came into that house made that house what it is. And
yeah,
I'll never ever forget that. Those were my quote unquote frat years, I guess you could say.
Yeah, the
college years. So. It started to get like a little bit toxic in that house. I think everyone can agree, because we were just kind of eager to make the next step to just kind of get out of there. It kind of just felt like it was a loop. And that's a thing with this life. It's a very grindy life. And if you aren't careful enough to make sure you break that loop, you're going to get stuck in it and you're going to feel toxic. It's going to feel toxic in your room. There's been a lot of times where even at my setup, it just feels toxic. I'm just like, how long have I actually been here? You know? So it all kind of started like after the move, because it wasn't mandatory to see everyone. It wasn't mandatory to be with everyone. You didn't wake up and everyone was just there. The move happened, and then we found ourselves here. Everyone kind of just went off and did their own thing. Even already, me and James were at a different apartment than you guys.
Yeah.
And me and James kind of had our own thing going on here.
At the better apartments.
Yes.
I say.
Yeah. As of right now, I mean, today, like, my water smells like eggs, so I don't know. It's disgusting, dude. Ugh. Anyway.
I love eggs, but not in my water.
Oh, dude, no.
Unless they're poached eggs, then maybe.
I like poached eggs too, but this is not like the good egg you want to smell.
No. Imagine showering an egg. All right, let's move on. Sorry.
Yeah, stop. It all kind of got a little bit weird. When like the space, immediately when we were told like what the space is going to be like at the Optic offices, we go there and they had said that they wanted us to be in the middle of like the room and all that, like the bullpens and all that, and we're like, no, that's not going to work. And immediately it didn't feel like a creative space whatsoever.
Yeah,
it felt like business. And even then, not putting anyone on blast there, but it's like, and it just kind of felt like we were kind of like wild, like we were just like zoo animals, kind of like walking in there every single time we walked in and out. And I think I speak for a lot of us. We didn't even like really want to be there too much, because it just wasn't like the atmosphere we thought it was. It wasn't the atmosphere that we were promised. And remember that one example you made out of it? I just go into a room and then you were like, yo, scream as loud as you can.
Yeah.
And then I did. And then as soon as I walked out, everyone was like,
yeah.
And then you're like, there you go. That's we need that space. We need that.
Yeah.
We need that freedom to just be as loud as we can. And clearly, that's just not how it is here.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of false promises, I guess, especially in October when James and I came here, and we were searching for apartments and all that, and we had a meeting with some individuals here, and we were promised, the typical things of what you have to move here. You need visas and all that, and we were promised that, and it just didn't work out. It just didn't come that way. And why it didn't happen, I still don't know. If you promise something like that to someone, you probably should keep it up. James moved across the pond here for that. I had this entire thing set out in my mind, like James and I are going to come over here and kill it. And for someone to be told that, I lived with him, and James couldn't like mentally fully move in here until he had what he had, and he just never got it. So that was a big thing that was really disappointing, especially like I had to deal with, Scuff, like for the apartment and all that. And we were going to do like such great content there. And it just we couldn't fully move forward without that, because we weren't sure if he would just have to move back, and that's a big thing. To like that, the uncertainty makes you not want to just fully commit to like a certain spot. So that was the first red flag. That like really pissed me off really bad. The second red flag was when there was individuals like disagreeing with each other on the content side, and Davis went to Mexico, and then we almost lost a fellow member, and that was really bad how that was handled. That was awful. People's livelihoods like not being taken like seriously into account, as if they're just like, like what did we do these 2 years for?
Yeah.
The 2 years, we had a great 2 years, and to watch these guys just toy with it, not take it seriously, not show the same respect and love that we put into it when they come in here. Just because because you go to school and all that, like you get told like how these brands work and all that. You have to understand the culture. You have to understand the brand. You can't mess around with it. If you mess around with it, then you don't really know anything about it, like whatsoever. And if you don't love it the same amount as like we do, then the outcome and your decisions is just not going to add up. There's a lot of things that just weren't making sense with their decisions. So that with Aaron, that was bad. That was a red flag for me right after that. Third red flag was when dropped the Halo team like a week before World Champs. Was it a week or two?
It's about a week.
Oh my gosh, dude. I still don't fully understand like why like how much sense that makes, especially when they're the back-to-back champs. They won for us. They won before us, and they were friends. Like BTH. Like we've like Nick grew up with these guys like all throughout Halo. It's more than just a team.
Absolutely, family.
It's a family, and to sit here and to watch them just kind of pick it apart without any, I guess, empathy.
Yeah.
Like really just kind of hurt to just sit here and watch.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what, I wasn't in any position to like, I don't know what my position is to like make any decisions to like stop that. I'm not in the position to do that.
I mean, from my perspective, it was tough, right? Because, we built this thing together, and I'm in charge, and I'm the only person in charge. I don't have to check with anybody to do anything. And this past year for me has been like a year of like self-discovery and just focusing on projects, because for the past 7 years, it's always been about my kids, and and I call you guys my little brothers, because you guys that's what you are. So for me to watch that happen and sort of have to sit back, give my advice and my input as to like why we shouldn't do certain things or why we should do certain things, and then just seeing people just say, we got it, man, we got it. And I'm like, it was unfortunate for me to have to be like, you know what? I'm gonna wash my hands off of this a little bit, because I just did this for 7 years. I have like I need some me time.
Yeah.
And on the same side, I remember just being completely angered by this sort of like miscommunication that I didn't have with these people that were essentially taking over the beautiful brand that is our team. And when this one fucking asshole started tweeting bad shit about the event, or like why we were getting out of Halo, like not knowing shit about why these people had made the decision. This person who wasn't even part of like the leadership group at Infinite. And this dude was like making comments on Twitter. I literally fucking lost my shit. I went in there the following day, closed his fucking door, sat down, and I pointed my finger at him. Don't you ever. At first I'm like, are you a spokesman for Optic? And like, no, he's not. I'm like, all right, don't ever talk about Optic. And I'm like, do you know why they dropped the Halo team? He's like, no. And I'm like, well, why the fuck are you mentioning that? And I was already mad at this dude, because he had just made an interview where he gave credit to somebody else about the content that we had created at the Scoff House. This dude went on and said, yeah, we have this, Optic has this tremendous relationship with brands because of the work that that somebody else is doing. And I'm thinking there, and all the examples are smooth competitions. And then one of the main examples was the smooth competition where we were doing the obstacle course. And I'm sitting there reading this thing, and I'm like, there's no credit giving to Hitch. None at all. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, time out. I remember clearly that the smooth competition, this specific smooth competition, there was no mention of Hector or Hitch in this article. And as long as the job gets done, I don't give a shit who gets credit. But in this case, I was really, really upset because they didn't give Hitch credit. And I sat there and I told him, I'm like, I manned the fucking drone. I worked second camera. I acted and participated in this thing. I came up with this. I called the people to send over this balloon of things. I helped my people fucking hammer the fucking thing and set it up in my own backyard. And I got no single credit. You're handing credits to somebody else. And that's where I said, you know what? You guys want to do it your way? I'm stepping back like completely, and that's where shit started rolling downhill in a sense.
That's where the blood started boiling.
Yeah, and you know what's fucked up though is that it's not necessarily the investors that are. Let me rephrase that. It's definitely not the investors that have. There's the people running this new thing. You know, the investors get it for the most part. They just are at the mercy of the people running it, essentially. So, you know, I got really, really upset at this dude that was it just made my blood boil, you know, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I was just like really, really upset with everything. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna continue to focus on content with my people, which is what I like to do. It frees my mind. It frees a lot of like my just everything, man. Like creating content with you guys, creating content with everything. It's like what I live for. It's like this is what I like to do. Is my fun thing, you know, focusing on developing talent and doing all, you know, the things, like interacting with all my teams, all my team members, like was my thing. You know what I'm saying? But man, 7 years of that, you know, I need
dude.
Break, dude.
People don't understand the mental toll with it, man. Like they really don't. Like, this is the best job in the world. It's also the hardest job. And if anyone who says it's not, fully invite them to go ahead and give it a shot. You know, that's I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you can't do it. Like, just give it a shot, feel it out, see if you can do it. If you can't, then respect it. Respect the people that all put their lives at stake to make this one dream happen. You know, and everyone needs a break, dude. Everyone really does. And I think that I started my, I guess, hiatus break, I guess, the beginning of like kind of like last year, because I was feeling burnt out. The games, we had like a really bad string of just not good games, especially after Black Ops 3. That didn't help, especially like when nobody really wants to watch it as much. I'm not a pro player, so I couldn't get lost in that. You know, I didn't have tournaments to play or anything like that. You know, everyone in Optic kind of had like their own thing, you know, and I didn't want to confuse what they're here for with what I want and with what keeps me happy. You know, because I really give a shit about people like that. Like, I want to be a part of like that. But there was a time where I just wasn't happy, and especially after this year, there's just a lot of things that were going on at home, and that's why I was at home a lot. And I felt like I had to be home. And anytime I would come back from home, something would happen, and I would just have to go back. And it felt like I was just missing out on so much there. And I was like, okay, I've been away from home for like a really, really long time. And it's hard. It's hard to have your heart in so many different spots, man. And to fully put your mind into it. Like, you don't have the clarity, because like when I'm here, I'm still always thinking about Canada. I'm still always thinking about my family. I'm still always thinking about that. Like, what are they doing? You know, what am I missing out on just to be here? And, you know, you can't really think like that, but at the same time, it's there. You know, it's hard to have your heart in many different places, you know, and to put your maximum effort, you know. So it was a lot of like what was going on, like with the corporate of Optic, and, you know, what would happen with James and things going on at home. It all really like added up. And there was times like I would go to sleep it was a solid month, like where my days were nights and my nights were days. It was a really bad mind state, and I can't believe I was even in it. Like, I would wake up at 9 p.m. and go to sleep at like 7 a.m. and I just wasn't happy, and I just like everything that was going on back home, and just kind of in my personal life, it added up. And especially like with the burnout of the YouTube, and trying to figure out like where I am, where do I want to be in this world? You know, where do I want to be with my content? What do I want to do? I want to put my town, I want to help my town out. I want to, you know, give more opportunities to like kids on reservations. I want to, you know, give more opportunities to the kids at school, because like I do like scholarships and all that, like at my high school and all that, you know, give kids money like to help them go in college and all that, you know, just, you know, just little things here and there. I want to do more of that. So to do more of that, I have to be.
Those aren't little things, man. Those are big things. You know, don't downplay that because that's fucking huge.